All right, you bunch of yahoos, strap yourselves in for another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity.
In other words, shut up, sit up, and pay attention. Welcome back to another episode of Toxic Masculinity. Here is truly here, Dan to be Severn, and with my cohort, the fiercest competitor in the world, Don the Predator Frye. He is back down in the Sierra Vista area, and I'm coming from you from Howell, Michigan, here right now, from my summer property. And our special guest here tonight is from someone that that Don Frye actually have, and I both have had some healing type of experience from. The CEO of BioXcellerator, we have Mr. Eric Stoffers in the house here this evening. So we'll be talking about stem cells. We'll be talking about his career. We'll be talking about things what he did prior to it, what he's doing now, and maybe what the future may hold for stem cells and other projects in the works. Eric, obviously you had a life before BioXcellerator. What did you do prior to it?
I did the furthest thing from being in regenerative medicine and helping people because I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm a business guy. And so really the early part of my career, I cut my teeth, all the way through school and being in the restaurant business. But my first real professional career was in real estate. I did everything from being an agent to fixing and flipping homes, and then actually being the CEO of a real estate investment trust. So I would say the big bulk of my career was, in real estate before I transitioned into the medical space. And what a pleasure it's been to be able to help people and make that transition.
Well, that's actually a pretty big 360 there to go from the real estate industry into the medical industry. That's how long were you involved in the real estate first off, and do you still have like a real estate portfolio? Perchance.
Yeah, for sure. I would say that a passion of mine is real estate. I have, being an entrepreneur, I have, somewhat of a little bit of a creative mind. So that allows me some creativity, especially when you're fixing and flipping houses. You get to kind of put your personal touches on it. But really, from starting my real estate career in early 2000 and then leading up into right around 2015, when I founded BioXcellerator, to give you some background on how I got into this, it was really, it wasn't like a dream of mine to get into the medical space, and certainly not the alternative and experimental medical space. But really, it was just a function of being at the right place at the right time, so to speak. I was the CEO of a real estate investment trust. I was helping some colleagues of mine sell a big property in Cabo San Lucas. It was a 300-hectare property that was an old kind of rundown, beat up resort property. And we were just getting crushed on getting terrible offers. And so what we did is as a strategy for marketing, instead of going to these big conglomerates like Starwood and the big hotel chains, what we did instead is we looked at the marketplace in close proximity to where we were, which was Arizona, California, looking at buyers to go into Mexico. And at that point, there was this term, medical tourism, that was extremely big in California and Arizona. And you guys know, you're Arizona guys. Right. A lot of people go across the border, across from Yuma or somewhere close to get dental work or eyeglasses, or maybe some boobs and butts for the ladies. And that's very popular, and it was happening a lot. So I said, hey, let's market to some plastic surgeons and ophthalmologists and dentists. And this group of scientists came up and said, hey, we're really looking to take this incredible technology that we've discovered in the laboratory. We've tested it. We know it works. We know it's safe, but we need to apply it offshore. So we're looking in Mexico. And through that relationship, I became enamored in this science and found that there was a real deficiency in the marketplace. This was something that I needed to get to as many people as possible, because it really helps people. And that's why I started BioXcellerator.
I mean, well, if you know my best, do you have real estate that you own in Deed area as well? Do you that like the whole of the property stuff like that, are these that you up there? And
so you're breaking up a little bit, but I think you're asking me about the real estate holding. So yeah, me, it's mostly single family homes. I was operating a REIT that was Had some commercial property, but really it was single family homes. So that's my portfolio. I'll tell you, I lost a couple just like the rest of us in 2007. And I took a little bit of a beating back then, but after that, it was a really good opportunity, especially in Phoenix, to recapitalize and get into the market, because we were able to buy homes for, in some cases 60% under market, under what you could build them for. So yeah, my holdings are all single family homes, but I want to get into a commercial property pretty soon, I think.
Okay, but what about Medellin? I mean, do you actually have additional real estate holdings down in Medellin? I mean, or is it just the BioXcellerator, or do you have other interests? Again, if I'm tending to pry, I'm a curious Georgia heart. You can tell me, say, Dan, you're prying a little bit too much.
No, I love it. Yeah. Like I said, you were breaking up, so I didn't hear the part about Medellin. But yeah, we have real estate holdings. I have real estate holdings there. Actually, we're getting into a really cool hotel project that is going to complement our patient stay into more of a wellness vacation. So we have I am personally and in the business have real estate holdings in a hotel project and condo projects in Medellin, because the real estate market there is awesome. They don't have big booms and busts like we do here in the States. Theirs is a lot more steady, slow incline. But yeah, so to talk about this hotel project that I'm in love with right now, that I really just invested in, we, in Medellin, because of the violence back in the 80s and 90s, not a lot of these big hotel chains moved in to Medellin. They were, the Hiltons and the Ritz-Carltons of the world were not going into Medellin. That was just not a good business decision back then. But because of that, now all the real estate is purchased, and so they're not, like they always say, they're not making any more land. So getting into this hotel project, we are going to solve a couple of issues. One, having a very high-end place that Americans would not only feel safe but comfortable in, because a lot of the zoning down there is not necessarily as regulated as it is here in the US. Meaning, like for handicap patients, it's really tough to find a handicapped accessible bathroom, much less really good room with enough area to turn your wheelchair, to put a Hoyer lift under the bed, to have a nice shower chair and bathroom setting. So we're building a bio hotel, which is going to be focused on health. So we're going to have things like hyperbaric chamber. We're going to have vitamin IVs that you can do at the hotel. It's going to have a really nice gym. It's going to be wheelchair and handicapped accessible. And so all the amenities that you would look for here in the US, plus a lot more that are health and biohacking related.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, I was very impressed on the overall trip. The fact that by the time you arrive there, someone's there to pick you up. They take you to the hotel, and then you wonder, well, how far am I away from the clinic? No, you're basically you're at the clinic, because the hotel, you walk through basically, like a department store. You're in a shopping complex, and you just walk over, and boom, you're right there. It's like going. I kept thinking, what you couldn't ask for a better setting, because you give people something to walk around, see, and do. In between what all the things that they're doing in the first place, you have all these cool little restaurants.
They had an ice cream store right outside the door of the hotel.
Well, okay, yeah, okay, Mr. Frye, how many times did you attack that ice cream place? Now,
every time I went by it, sir. Every time.
Yeah, I don't think he's exaggerating. There was a couple times I went and met him, and he had an ice cream.
Big old bowl.
I would say he really enjoyed that place. But no, I just thought the settings that you guys have now, I'm thinking, and then you look at the improvement, I'm thinking, I can't even imagine what the improvement's going to look like, because I think you're really onto something there, especially having a place where they could stay longer. Hyperbaric chambers. I've been involved with the hyperbaric chamber for 20 plus years now. There's a lot of great things that come off of that hyperbaric chamber. And also another machine you might want to look into is it's called the EECP machine.
Yeah, you'll like that.
Yeah, what is the EECP? Is that electro?
The initials EECP. Each word, each letter stands for like 5-syllable word. I couldn't begin to, but if you look up EECP, that's something that's been a part of, like I said, my training for 20 some odd years. But I even look at it now as dipping your toe into the fountain of youth of all the things that would do for you. So this ECP machine is right up your alley, what you're looking to do. And I'd be more than happy to talk with you even off the air about what it's done for people like myself. I mean, Don, have you ever been involved with the ECP machine as well?
Yeah, Eric,
Okay.
he hooked me up to it a few times. It's like a mask pants, the military anti-shock trousers, and you put them on, and it goes on with your heartbeat, and so boom, 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 boom. So it just keeps it flowing really heavy. So you have two hearts.
As soon as your heart beats, the blood goes out, and then there's a heart monitor on there, and then as soon as it goes in a relaxing phase, you have a sequence of three sequences of cuffs that are on your calves, cuffs are on your lower upper thighs, and then lower abdominal region. It just goes squish, 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 squish. It's known as a shearing factor, so that it pushes blood back and forth. And just some of the things that you'll see online is how, as one gets older, their blood vessels start to turn narrow. Well, this actually is proven to widen them right back on up again, but also clears off plaque and things of debris that starts to line up along your arterial walls. But then also, if you've had blockage, it has proven even to build additional arteries around 100% blockage. So again, I can't speak enough good things about it, but there's some things I would like to talk to you about, because when it comes to the actual wellness portion, I look at it as that will be the gym of the future. Because I just, Eric, how lazy are most people that they won't go to the gym?
Yeah, extremely. I mean, people ask me all the time about, the technology that we're producing, but then they say, okay, what about health? Like, what is your recommendation on health, or specifically longevity? And with all of it, it's just getting your ass off of the couch and getting to the gym in most cases, and then what you're shoveling in your mouth. That's the easiest solution. Right. So people are usually super lazy about it.
Well, these pants, they are so enjoyable. It's like a great Saturday night. They replace your wife every way except for the cooking and the bitching.
I didn't know if that's where you're going, but in my mind, I was thinking, man, I'm getting relationship advice right now. Just get these pants, and I'm going to be a happy person.
You're happy. You are happy. Go, Eric, where are you? I'm still in bed.
Dan, no, you're right about the facility, though. I mean, that was very intentional. We wanted to make sure that for our medical tourism patients, and most of our patients are not from Colombia, they're coming from the United States or Australia or Europe, all around the world. But for the non-adventurous patients, and I don't put you guys in that category, you were out touring the town and you see that it's safe and it's beautiful. But for the guys and gals that don't want to be adventurous, they never have to leave the roof. They're in the hotel, they don't leave the roof. They're in a beautiful mall, they don't leave the roof. They're in our clinic. And so that was very intentional, but thanks for noticing.
Yeah, no, again, it's not just a shopping plaza. I mean, it's a 3-level shopping plaza. I mean, they've got all kinds of cool things to see on each different level. So I walked all over that place just to take it all in. It's really very unique.
Coach McMahon, had pushed me in a wheelchair, from the hotel to the treatment center. And, hell, it's like a quarter mile, I guess, I don't know. It's a big mall. And then I got the IV, and boom, I didn't have to get back in that chair. I went out and walked around for 2 hours. And it's the first time I'd done that in over a decade. And then the next day, same thing, hit me in the other arm of the IV. I went out and walked for 2 hours. It was like, I just, it was the most fun I had in, like I said, 13 years, just walking.
Yeah, the malls they're not going away like they are here in the United States. The Latin culture, and specifically in Colombia, they love their malls. And so there's a lot of, hustle and bustle. People go there to walk their dogs or do yoga and have church service. So
a lot of dogs, a lot of women dressed like models, they get all prettied up, and strut around the mall. It's just nice. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really cool to see you jumping out of that wheelchair.
Have you taken any of the treatment yourself then, Eric?
Yeah, I have. I'm a relatively healthy guy, so I've really only done what we would call a rejuvenation treatment, which is the general IV. So it's a systemic IV,
Okay.
just a simple needle poke, and just getting like any other vitamin IV, and it's with high doses of stem cells. So yeah, I've had a couple of treatments. I'm lucky to be in the space and have access to it. But there have been some medicinal benefits for me overall, even though I was a healthy guy. So
Well, okay, talking about like people like Don Frye and myself, who are a little bit more that aging warrior. How often, if you get one treatment, how often would you say a person should be coming right back in to get a second treatment or a third treatment, or I should say, ongoing health? Because I mean, it's Don knows this, but I don't know if you know this. My goal is to live to be 125, and at 125, to have my life being taken tragically and suddenly by a jealous husband. Now, again, it's my world, it's my dream. So again, now of course she'll be a much younger woman. She'll be in her 90s, but it's
Yeah, that guy's gonna need help pulling the trigger,
I love it. Well, look, we all have to have goals. I think yours are up there with some of the best. So no, but look, the patients that we have that are educating themselves, and in a lot of cases, they're not listening to what their traditional medicine doctors are telling them, because a lot of times, even the best physicians in the world are not experts in stem cell. So, not listening to what they may or may not have to say about it. Some of them know about it, some of them don't. And that's okay. It's fairly new for a lot of these great doctors. But so the point I'm getting at is, back to your question, is like, how often should you come in? We see a lot of these people that educate themselves, that have seen real good results, or even healthy people that are looking for longevity. They come back about once a year, depending on their age bracket and their health conditions. If they're not combating some major neurological condition or autoimmune disease, and they're relatively healthy and they're advancing in the years, yeah, once a year is probably pretty good. If they're younger, guys that are starting this in their 20s and 30s, and we have those people that come to us all the time, they're every couple years, maybe even every 5 years, if they're healthy. But we see a lot of high impact athletes like UFC fighters and National Football League, and every sport that you can think of, we've treated, and those guys are typically using their bodies for their career and need to be functioning at the highest level and recovering the quickest, and maybe suffering from an injury. So those guys typically come back several times a year. So it really depends on what type of individual we're talking about, but for a general, just a general timeline, once a year is great.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few different interviews with a lot of professional wrestlers, and Don will tell you firsthand. I mean, professional wrestling, he got more beat up in that industry than the cage fight, because it's a show. It's a lot of athleticism, but to be picked up and be bodily slammed over and over again, night after night, I mean, that does take a toll on his body, and that's where you see a lot of professional wrestlers that they don't live that long, because they start getting hooked on painkillers and their muscle relaxers, anything to put them to sleep at night, something to get them up and get them going in the morning. So
if I was to put in a category of our most injured athletes, and again, we see them all. We see football players in the NFL, current and former. We see guys like you that are world champion mixed martial artists in the UFC or whatever promotion, or all of them. And the worst and the most beat up are typically the WWE and the AEW wrestlers. Diamond Dallas Page said it best, and he said it in one of our testimonials. And he might have been with Kevin Nash. I think it was both. But they said it's like getting in a car accident 5 times a week, not just once a year, not just once a week, not just 5 times, sometimes at night, and they have to do that 5 times a week. So their bodies are crazy beat up.
Yeah. Actually, I was just going to bring up his name there, but you kind of beat me to the punch on that one.
Sorry.
I've been on several different occasions, and he's got. I mean, just what he does, even with his own, health benefits, because he's made up what was it for men? He does his yoga program for men, and so which a lot of men probably wouldn't have been caught doing the yoga, but he came up with a pretty unique program there. But the fact that he went down to Medellin and went through the BioXcellerator processor as well, so he there's a lot of wrestlers that look up to him because he started things that a little bit later in life than what most professional wrestlers do it, and he did well for himself. So, but he does like all that crash bang boom. It does take a toll on the body.
Yeah, it's incredible. He's definitely been an advocate for us. But one of the things you started touching on earlier when you were talking about the EECP, which by the way, I'd love to talk to you about that. But what I'm getting at is the alternatives that we do, like hyperbaric chamber. You guys saw that you were in our hyperbaric chamber. We do bioregulatory medication and orthomolecular medication, ozone therapy, cryotherapy. We believe in all these other alternatives. And getting back to DDP, the method that he has of with his yoga and getting into the right mental state is also super important to the healing process. So stem cells for us is a major component, but it's just a piece of the puzzle.
No, it is, but but you even touched on to it earlier there that using your body and your mind on a daily basis. Well, the United States is a very sedentary country. We sit a lot. I think because people always say that especially like the last couple of years with COVID, a lot of the gym industry was shut down, and I go, Americans are lazy. I said most people have to get over that fear of just pulling themselves together to go to the gym. And when they want to go, again, women are a whole lot different. Their outfit has to match this. Are their fingernails done? Are their hair done? Something. Guys could care less. They'll put on almost anything. They pick it up their shirt. They'll smell it. Okay, if it doesn't reek too bad, we'll wear that shirt for the day. But it's totally different about how they approach it. But to me, you still have to get that gumption up to go to the gym. Whereas when you roll out of bed, what did that floor cost you? You could do push-ups, you could do sit-ups, you could do squats. There's all kinds of exercise that you could do with just simply your own body weight. And that's what I was always big trying to promote to people, is especially during that whole lockdown period of time when people couldn't get to gyms. I go grab a couple cans of beans. There you go. You got a set of dumbbells right now. You'd be surprised what you can do when you start jogging in place and just start punching to the air. I go, it's both cardiovascular and muscular endurance all at the same time. But you got to have a little bit of creativity.
Yeah, exactly. I was literally just having this conversation today. I got out of a meeting earlier, and I kind of went, I winced. I'm being a big baby, but because my legs are just super sore because I worked out. But I didn't do a bunch of squats and big heavy weight. My buddy Joey gets me in, and he trains he is really good friends with a lot of mixed martial artists and professional athletes, but Chris Cyborg specifically. And I know he communicates with Don a lot, but he does 500 lunges. That's his leg workout, 500 lunges and some air squats. So I tried to get to that. I didn't even come close, but I am super sore. No weight at all, zero.
Yeah, no, again, the Japanese are really big into doing just a lot of squats and things of that nature. We just use their body weight, they're always picking up that crazy number of 500 to 1,000. Like going, yeah, if you haven't done that, and all of a sudden you try to do 500 to 1,000, the next morning, your legs are going to be screaming at you. I can guarantee you. That's shock and trauma all at the same time. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to see that Don is in a place where he might start doing that 500 lunge workout of Joe's pretty soon.
Have to get somebody to sit there and count for me,
that new math, right? That new math, yeah. 10, 20, yeah. Couple by tens. Oh.
Shit, but I'll tell you what, partner. I had so much fun riding my horse the other day, and I was riding with my daughter's boyfriend. He had her horse, and I had my horse, and I had him film a little snippet for you. So we're gonna try and get it sent to you.
I actually, it got circulated a little bit, and I saw and I heard that you were on your horse again. And I remember that, when you were down in Colombia, that was one of the three things that you really wanted to accomplish with getting stem cell.
Yeah.
And I see the other is with your little dog there,
Yeah.
your bulldog. So
yeah, play with her.
2 out of 3 right now.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm happy, but I'm not gonna rest on that. I'm looking forward to get back into the, training. So looking forward to that.
We were talking about it before I think we got on, but you wanted, your 3 goals, because we ask a lot of people, what are your expectations? Because stem cells, they can be a miracle, and they have been for a lot of people. But it's a medical treatment, and it's not 100% for everybody, and it depends on how severe or advanced your condition is, and you are at the most elite level possible, and so your condition was pretty severe. But we were asking your expectations, right? You're like, I want to get on my horse, I want to be able to play with my dog, and the third was what? Get in the cage again?
Train, yeah.
Train.
And then make a decision.
How far out are you from the treatment? How many months ago was that?
Hell, it was October. It was the first week of October we did it. So
yeah, Don is actually just like 1 week over me. He's living by the 25th of, well, no, he hit his 7th month mark already.
Right.
So from everything that I've I questioned the doctors a great deal. So because again, what you said there earlier, Eric, everyone's gonna be a little bit differently, but they said as a general rule, there's that magical sweet spot between that 6 and 9 month period of time when you should see most of the benefits, because they said about every 20 some odd days that the stem cells are duplicating themselves. But they said between that 6 and 9 month range, all the way up to the first year. By the end of that first year, whatever you kind of receive, that's kind of where you're gonna tap out at. So
I've had again, I'm not a doctor, but I have contacts with patients a lot, like you guys, and we've had patients that have called us, or we have a pretty strict follow-up process also. So we're calling people at 1 month and 3 months and 6 months, and at the 3 month mark, people were going, I don't really see anything. At the 6 month mark, gosh, Eric, I'm not really feeling anything. This is starting to really worry me. It's a lot of money. It's a big investment, And then at the 7, 8 month mark, nothing. And I'm thinking of a guy named Randy Zink, who was in a terrible car accident. He couldn't work anymore. His life was, essentially falling apart. His marriage was falling apart. And he was calling me at the 8, 9 month mark going, hey, what's going on here? And then at like 9 months, 9.5 months, he called and said, finally, I'm able to walk upright. And then at 10 months, it was like, hey, the pain is like a 10 to a 2. And hey, now I'm back at work. And so they do take a long time. It's different for everybody, Dan. You're right about that. Sometimes, unfortunately, we need to get you back in and get you another dose.
Yeah, well.
No, again, that's what. Go ahead there, Don. Sorry.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I cut my pain pill medication down dramatically. Hell, I think I was taking 4 milligrams, immediate release, and then 1 8 milligram extended release. Done with the 8, and got rid of one of the 4s too. So I'm down to just three a day.
That's incredible success. I mean, think about the complications that those high doses of medications over time do to you. So reducing that is also probably, in a lot of ways, extending your life. Certainly doing a good job at extending your liver function.
Yeah. Well, again, I'll look at this two phases right there, Eric, because I always tell people, when someone finally passes away, I always say, go to their medicine cabinet and count how many different prescriptions that they are on already, or look at their nightstand. It's incredible how many different prescriptions a person will be on at the end of their life. And to me, I sometimes wonder, did they die of natural causes? Did they die of a calculations on their own medicines, and they might have doubled down or tripled down because their mind's not quite as sharp as it once was? So it's kind of sad, but that's sort of the American way. Not exactly what I call the right way, but it's the American way. It's like, here, I have a headache. take this tablet. Might cause blurred vision, might cause diarrhea, but that's okay. We've got 2 more pills that will take care of the blurred vision and the diarrhea that causes other problems. So sometimes I think you're okay with just one condition versus the 2, 3, 4 other things that it might bring to you.
100%. I noticed that, and you said very specifically that it's the American way, and that's true because I
Yes.
travel a lot, but I see these other cultures and these other medical systems that are not put together the same way the American medical system is. Doctors in Colombia do not prescribe drugs and surgery first. That's a last line of defense. First, they want to get to the systemic root of the problem. So they're not just writing you a script and putting you under the knife. They're really spending some time with you to get to the root of the problem, and that's really what I hope the American medical system starts transitioning closer to again. We've lost that in a bad way.
Well, your new facility, is it at the same place? You just enlarging it, or did you move it off site somewhere else?
Yeah, it's in the same place. It's in a newer building, but from a patient standpoint, you wouldn't know the difference. We just took over the whole floor instead of being on the 2 floors like we were before.
Right.
So now we took the entire floor. You still entered through the mall, in the hotel. It's just in a nicer and bigger facility.
That's great. That's great. How many people?
Yeah, we have.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that as part of the expansion, we did something cool where you can, and it's something that, from my knowledge, no other stem cell clinic will ever do because they're typically not this transparent. But what we did is we put in in our IV infusion room, you're able to look into our laboratory and watch our scientists produce these stem cells at the same time that you're getting them applied to you. So that's kind of a cool new layout to the facility, but otherwise it's just kind of bigger.
So if one of them, a big explosion and one of them turns into a big 20-foot hairy beast, you're like, get this thing out of my arm.
Yeah, exactly.
How many people do you think you treat a year?
A couple of thousand, under a couple thousand is really where we're gonna be at. I would say we're more boutique-ish. In nature. We're intentionally small. We're not a mass-produced facility. There are some of those big laboratories out there that mass-produce these cells. But for efficacy, that's not really a good business model, in the sense that if you're mass-producing these things and you're really just, your business model is to get as many as possible, we know in the scientific community that just having as many as possible isn't always the solution. Sometimes it's, specific passages that are the most effective doses. So we're always going to be boutique, I would say.
Well, let's get into the medical portion of it. The stem cells, where do they basically where are they derived from? I mean, that it's from. I know Don and I we went through this, but anyone else that will be watching this, where are these stem cells are all harvested from?
Yeah, perfect question. So I always start this answer by saying that these are the non-controversial sourced stem cells. Back in the early 2000s, when George Bush, did this address about how, these unethically sourced stem cells had to be shut down. This is not that. We ethically source our stem cells from the umbilical cord, and that means that we have a partnership with a family, the healthy mother, and then the healthy baby. They go home and live healthy lives together. But that medical waste, typically they would just cut the umbilical cord and throw it away. But that healthy family that goes home and has a great life together, they donate that cord to scientific companies like ours. And we're able to help thousands of people off of just that one cord. So we take a small piece of that cord, which we know to be the most highly potent and the most safe and highly effective in quality stem cell. It's called the Wharton's jelly piece of the stem cell. And then we focused on the mesenchymal stem cell. Depending on what part of the world you're in, some people say mesenchymal, some are mesenchymal, but it's that specific cell that we culture expand. We discard all other cells. We focus on the most safe, the most pure, and then we exponentially increase the potency of those by multiplying them before we inject them into your body. But that's where we get them.
And
we
I know that it's
also,
important.
Yeah, we also, sorry to jump back in, but we have what we call a signature cell out of those, out of that process. And so by some very highly specialized scientists, PhDs that have spent their whole life studying this type of thing with very expensive laboratory equipment and specific process, proprietary process that we call our signature cells. We're able to take those cells and then introduce the most potent and pure potential to modulate your immune system, and then also stimulate healing with those cells. And so we kind of take it a step further, and that's why we control the entire process, where we're not purchasing cells from other laboratories. We are the laboratory and the applier of that science.
Well, that's fantastic. It's I just know that when this came up on my radar, there are just all kinds of things I was exploring, and I happened to see a great interview with Mel Gibson, and he was actually telling about how he actually took his father. I think his father at the time was in his 80s somewhere.
That was like
took
98.
his father down there. I mean, was he that old at the time?
He was old, yeah. He was, I think he's
I thought he was maybe
90s.
in his late 80s at the time, but all I know is that Pops had a pretty good result of it all.
Yeah. When I got laid that night.
Yeah, so it was like, but it's kind of comical, but it just speaks to volumes of when for what it could do for people at literally almost any age. And again, I think I would think that the more healthier you are, maybe the better results that it could help for you. But I think a lot of people are simply looking for that quality of life, especially as you get older. You're not worried that you can't do your cartwheels anymore. You're just more or less concerned that you don't ache and pain, and you can still go up and down stairs. And there's Eric. A little bit of my story there was prior to me getting my first set of stem cell shots in my knees, I had to start avoiding stairs, and that really bothered me because in order for me to go up a flight of stairs, I actually had to grab both handrails. And it wasn't my legs that were powering me up. It's like I was doing like a seated roll. I just kept grabbing each rail, and I was actually literally pulling myself up the stairs. Going down the stairs, I would go out of my way to find an escalator or an elevator, because going down stairs, I was afraid of my knee giving out, but not giving out forward. I actually was afraid that as I was going to plant down, it was going to give out backwards. That's how unstable I felt that my knee joints were. So again, your staff wasn't aware of that, because the very first stem cell shots that I did receive were inside Phoenix, Arizona, through a different person, and I could not believe what that gave back to me. And then when the opportunity came up to go down to Medellin and get IVs of stem cells, the whole 9 yards, I'm like going, yes, let me take this plunge into it, because I knew the results that I had received already just from a couple shots. So,
did you do bone marrow or adipose, or did you also do injections from wart and jelly umbilical cord?
As far as I know, I mean, just whatever they served up. I mean, honestly, that's I can't tell you specifically what. I wish I would have known more at the time, but again, I did not know the whole stem cell world was still so new to me. On a more comical note, the team at the BioXcellerator, they sent me all this information like over 30 days prior to ever going down to Medellin, Colombia. There's like for the next 30 days, take these various types of drops. 3 times, I think like two or 3 times a day, and in the next 30 days, try to eliminate as much of the caffeine products. Try not to eat this. Try not to smoke that. Try not to ingest this. And literally, when I was at the clinic on the first day, and they're checking me in, and they're running through this whole list, and the last 30 days have you? I'm like, no. And literally got up to the end, and then the gentleman that was checking me in, he lifts his glasses up, and looks down, looks up at me, he goes, did you answer this all truthfully? I go, yes, I did. I said, I'm going to be honest with you guys, because I'm here for you guys to help benefit me. He goes, you're the first person to say no to everything. and I leaned in on him. I go, Doc, I go, on your list right there. I go, coffee is on that list. I go right now. I go, I haven't had a cup of coffee 30 days prior to being down here. I go, I could kill somebody for a cup of coffee here right now, and I would have no remorse whatsoever here. He started laughing. He goes, you can have a cup of coffee, you know, it's not going to kill you. I go, well, I know some of the people that have been down here before, and I saw the wonderful results they had. I go, I've been a freak of nature most of my life. I want to continue to be a freak. I go for 30 or 60 days. I could be good about this. Even still to this day, Eric, I still have not had that cup of coffee. It will be at that 1 year mark. I will celebrate with a cup of coffee on that day.
You're gonna fill up the bathtub.
Yes, exactly, with a big straw at that point. Yes.
Submerge yourself.
Well, good on you for that. That's amazing. You know, that is actually something we see from our patients a lot. You know, because this is a big investment and it's people's health. You know, a lot of times people are in chronic pain or, you know, trying to relieve themselves from some type of rare disease. But the you know, some of the recommendations really help people get off of some of the vices that they've been addicted to, like caffeine or worse. But yeah, usually people have like one or two. They're like, oh, okay, I cheated a little bit. You know, Don must have gone right before you because he answered all yes. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. No, I'm just kidding, Don. I don't know what you did, but I saw you with a coffee and a
cigar. I didn't see the part where it said no coffee, so I didn't affect me. Sorry.
No, I said, Don had a very, very powerful video because, just him, coming in to the clinic. He was in a wheelchair, and then when he departed, he's pushing that wheelchair, then pushing it away, and then giving it the finger on the way as he's leaving out there. That was a very, very powerful video in itself. I mean, I know because Don's got a lot of followers. I've got a lot of followers, and since we started up this podcast, we got all kinds of people that are checking in with us that may not have known who we are, but after they see a clip of Don out there playing Rock'em Sock'em Robots or something like that, or they see me belly back suplexing poor Anthony Macias a few times, all kinds of people want to check out to see what we have to say there. So we take this opportunity because we're big about education. We really know that education is a real key to this. You can't, sometimes they say no pain, no gain. Well, there comes a certain point of pain that you better start listening to that you can get some gains in other directions.
Yeah, for sure. And no, look, guys, for one, you're right. Don's story was awesome, that he could get out. He came in a wheelchair, like you said earlier. He was really in a wheelchair for many, many years, almost a decade, or not walking around that often. But watching him walk out was great. Watching him give it the bird was even better. But for you guys and you're following what you've done for us, yeah, definitely thank you, for the exposure that you've given to us. You will inevitably help a lot of other people that were either on the fence about it or just not educated about it. But you guys, I've been a big fan of you guys too. Both Arizona guys are having ties to Arizona, and me being old enough to be one of the guys that was sneaking into the back room of Blockbuster Video, having to buy rent those early year UFC fights. You guys are legends, man. So thank you for what you guys are doing for us.
Thank you.
But the funny part about going at the Blockbuster Video, those videos were right next to the porn too. So
yeah. I had to
always tell people it's kind of going. You have to look back and forth, like going, what are people? I just want to get a fight tape, and not here getting the porn.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
I had to sneak into the back room. Some of them had like a little back room. They had like a velvet curtain, and I wasn't old enough to be back there either way, but I'd go back there to take the videotape and have my parents buy it for me, so.
Okay, if people want to find out more about BioXcellerator, is there like a website that you want to promote here? Or if they have more questions, if they want to get in contact with either you or some of your staff, plug away here, Eric, because we want to see BioXcellerator.
So we're BioXcellerator.com. We're one of the world leaders in regenerative medicine. You can find us at BioXcellerator.com, BioXcellerator. It's a little bit of a mouthful. But otherwise, I would say look at our social media channels. We do a great job at putting great patient testimonials like both Dan and Don, other professional athletes, and even more importantly, many, many, many regular patients,
yes.
Like me, just regular guys that are seeing great success. So look at our Instagram channel or our YouTube channel if you're really interested in what type of results might help you. Otherwise, contact bioaccelerator.com and we'd love to help you.
Yeah, because if it fits into your schedule, I definitely like to plan another interview, because as Don and I start to approach the 1 year mark, we'd like to kind of bring it around and let you know where we're standing here at the 1 year mark as well.
You have an office in Scottsdale and Dallas and Boston, right?
No. So yes, in the sense that we have people that work for us in Boston, and our bigger corporate office is in Phoenix, by the Biltmore area. So right on the border of Scottsdale, Phoenix.
Yeah.
But not in Texas. No, not in Texas.
I screwed that up, didn't I?
No. We'll be there soon. We're on the way.
So you got what's the Boston office do for you then?
Mostly there's patient advocates. So they're the people that are on the phones with our patients every day, all day, either answering questions or helping facilitate the transfer of medical records to our doctors, or help facilitate the scheduling of a teleconference call with one of our specialists. So it's all patient advocates. So it's an administration most likely, or more likely.
Mm. Are you planning to expand more? Maybe to Texas and other places, or?
Yeah, for sure. We've got a concept called BioX Health that is going to penetrate the U.S. market this year, or the end of this year. And that's getting into some of the alternative therapies that we were talking about with Dan earlier. Maybe we'll look at the EECP, but definitely what we do is things like ozone. We have a proprietary, what we call BioX Gel, but it's basically the most potent PRP product on the planet. So far that we can tell, nobody's reached the levels that we have. Hyperbaric chamber, red light therapy, cryotherapy. And so those are all introductions to a more integrative wellness protocol. And so we're going to be in every major city, in the next 5 to 10 years. And then we are also strategically placing some other stem cell facilities around the U.S. and strategically around the globe.
Well, you got me. What's the red light? What's the red light therapy? That's got me interested there. Boy.
Yeah, red light therapy is incredible. Actually, it does a lot to promote healing, improve immunity, reducing inflammation, and really amplifying your body's ability to fight disease. It has some medicinal benefits for the skin also. So increased elasticity and collagen production. But really, logistically, what it looks like, Don, is you remember those old tanning beds in the 80s?
Yeah.
Where you'd have to lay down. I guess they still have them, but a lot of those are being converted into red light instead of that blue light. And you have a protocol where you lay there for half hour, depending on what you're trying to treat or how intense the bulb is. And it has all of those medicinal benefits.
Cool.
Cryotherapy is awesome. If you guys ever do cold plunge.
Yeah, I did that. I'm not a big fan of that, but it does work.
Nobody is.
I actually, I was at the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, this past one, and I actually was working for a cryogenics company. It's actually kind of interesting that you brought that up, because they had invented the first machine that, instead of running off of the highly volatile gases, this is the first one that actually works off of an actual electrical plug, whether it would be 110 or 220 voltage. So that was their big claim to fame. I mean, what's that?
That's a company from Finland, right? I've been talking with those guys. Yeah.
Oh, have you? That's definitely. I was there with them, and that was. I used almost all the different apparatus each day. It was like, well, try this one for my shoulder, try this one for my hip, try this one for me. And it was great. One I never really got into, but it was actually big in demand, was simply going into the entire box up to your neck in a matter of I think less than 2 minutes. Poof! It brings down your body core, and you're there. But they had, it was a big, as a nice showpiece, and I knew just enough. I was sitting out there with the belts of that. People come and talk with me, like, well, what do you have to do with cryogenics? I go, I've learned a lot about it. I mean, I'm just one of these athletes that they brought in just to bring a little bit more, spotlight to them, and that's all it really was. But it was great. All the things that you mentioned there before, just using all this type of technology that is available to you now. Educating is probably the number one key, because no two people are going to respond exactly to the same products. So each one might find a different way that it might be the cryogenics that might be a little bit that might fit their bill a little bit better than one of the other methods.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, did you by chance meet Martin Sleetsies at the Arnold Classic? He's one of our patients. I think he was maybe one of the winners, or definitely placed. I know he's number 2 in World Strongman this year. But anyways,
no, I did not. I mean, I'll say that the most comical thing I was watching, and I didn't get a chance to see it live in person, there was just too many people there, was when they were doing that Russian slapping contest. We literally open palm, you have to put out your chin like this, and then people were getting knocked out left and right. I mean, watching the guys is one thing, but then watching the ladies go at it there as well, because they had a women's division, they had a men's division.
I bet you back in the day that would be something that Don Frye would be.
I'll bet you too. I may not remember that one, but I bet it would have been something he would have been involved into as well. He'd just remember it the following day.
Exactly.
Just a couple of drinks.
That's just a Saturday night for Don.
That's right, baby. That's what the women in my life,
Fantastic.
Well, Eric,
I think what else? Go ahead, Don.
When do you go back? When do you go back to there? And
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back in a couple weeks. I love it there. Like I was saying to you guys before, I'm back in Arizona where our corporate office is, and it's getting into the summer months, and that's for anybody that knows anything about Phoenix. That's when you want to get out of Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's beautiful most of the year, but the temperature here is pretty rough. And in Medellin, where our clinic is, the temperature is perfect. The humidity is perfect, but the temperature is between like 72 and 78 degrees all year round. So I'm going to try to go back soon and stay long.
Yeah,
it's
beautiful. The brochure always reads about Phoenix, Arizona, that during the summertime, you're guaranteed 100 days of 100-degree weather or better, whether you like it or not. Yeah, so I actually surprised me when people would look forward to rain, a day that got clouds up like that, but then after a while, you kind of miss going. It's like beautiful, another beautiful day, and yet you want that one day where it rained for a little bit. Oh, that was great. A little bit of a change.
We want to give our meteorologist here an actual job and throw in a day of rain or two. We wake up every day and go, oh, it's sunshine, it's hot. That's it.
No, again, I enjoy being born and raised in the state of Michigan, and then I went to college at Arizona State. So bouncing back and forth between the two states, and now having a home in both states, I'm trying to enjoy both aspects of just trying to be in each state when it's at its nicest time of year. I'm here in Howell, Michigan right now, and beautiful, enjoying a nice little summer property. But I bounced out to Coldwater because I still don't know what I want to do with that property down there, because it was a training facility all set up there originally. But after the last couple of years, I had to become very mobile because Michigan was a very democratic state, and the gym industry got chokehold out. So I had to travel to states like Florida, Texas, and Arizona, where places were still open for business. So kind of gives me some thoughts as to where do I want to be later in life as well now. But
yeah, well, I haven't been to Michigan in the summer, but I hear that that's the place to be. So
every state has something beautiful about them. It just all depends on what time of year. I mean, Michigan's state motto is the winter wonderland. It's got more coastal front than even like the state like Florida. I mean, let's face it, Florida is nothing but coastline on both sides. But when you look at the upper and lower peninsula, there's an awful lot of coastline to the state of Michigan. And going from the lower peninsula up to the upper peninsula, it's almost like two different countries that you go to. I mean, it's and even the people that live on the upper peninsula, there's a bridge that you have to go across called the Mackinac Bridge, and even people, they refer to you, if you're up there and go, are you a troll? That means you live underneath the bridge or above the bridge. So it's just kind of comical, but it just each state is beautiful. In Arizona, I always say that if you want to go see snow, all you can do is 2 hours north on Interstate 17. Go up and see Flagstaff during wintertime. Then you can go see snow. So
people always are super surprised that you can go skiing in Arizona, only 2 hours from Phoenix. It's not good skiing. It's pretty bad, but you can do it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's about as much a winter I want to see anymore. Just enough to throw a little bit of a few logs on the fire, enjoy a little bit of the warmth. Other than that, good to go. Well, Eric, let's pop in one more time. If people would like to be able to contact either you personally or want to learn more about BioXcellerator, let's pitch that one more time there to them to where they could go see a lot more athletes' testimonials, not just Don Frye myself, but all kinds of other people and all types of other industries and just normal people of what they've had experience.
Yeah, if you want to get a flavor for who we are as a company culture, as who we are as far as treating patients and what kind of real results we can get from many different indications, I would go to our YouTube channel. So look us up. We're BioXcellerator, BioXcellerator. BioXcellerator.com is our website. But go to our YouTube channel. Look at our YouTube videos. There's great informational videos there. There's great patient testimonials. And if you're on other social channels like Instagram or even TikTok, we have a presence there. But our Instagram channel is fantastic. So that's a good place also.
Yeah, YouTube, I like about that. It's just a lot of just short clips there, but just showing just different people, why they went into the clinic in the first place and the results that they're having afterwards. So, Mr. Frye, you got any other questions here right offhand?
I do, but I can't think of them right now. So
yeah, I know. I like to probably go on forever, but I hate to have dull moments. And Eric, rest assured that Don and I, we want to definitely have you back on, especially as we hit the 1 year mark. Yeah. Just to again give you an update of all the improvements that we have had, and we might be lining up our next visit through. Who knows what we might be able to create at that point in time, and bringing other people along there with us.
Well, guys, we're, again, our gratitude to you for getting this education out in front of your audience. You guys are legends in my book. Our staff loves both of you. I'm happy that you're getting some good results. Let's talk again in a year. We also have a podcast studio in Medellin. So come down, get some treatment, do your podcast there. I'd love to have you.
All right. That sounds
that'd be fantastic. All right there, Tony. I want to say this concludes another episode of Toxic Masculinity. We're here to entertain, offend, defend anybody and everyone. If you get a little bit offended, well, geez, the title of Toxic Masculinity. What do you think we're going to talk about? We're men here talking about manly type of things, and tonight we're talking a lot of things that to get men back to that manly spirit here. Put a little bit more backbone in that back.
There you go. Hey, a buddy of mine was there, and he got a shot in his wanker. What the heck? Yeah, what does that do?
Don. Okay, I was talking about a backbone. I think you went a little bit further.
You're talking about stiff, So, so what does that do when they shoot you in the wanker and the face and all that stuff?
Yeah, we have a lot of aesthetic treatments. So the face, it definitely helps with, growing collagen and having the elasticity of the skin. It's really good for thinning hair. But what you're talking about is the sexual wellness shot, which it works. It works. We've got a lot of great reports, people that have, medical problems, and then also guys that just want, to continue their libido to be like they're, in their 20s again. So it's something that we do every week, all the time, and have had good results with. And it doesn't hurt as bad as you would think.
Yeah.
From what I hear. The thought of it is crazier than the actual. Yeah.
So everybody shows up at the bar and they pull out their wankers and say, "Look at me, I'm alive, I'm alive."
Well, definitely we'll tackle that subject matter here at the 1 year mark, because you never know. I see for sure Don Frye making a return trip, but
your wife
for the wrong reasons.
Your wife is going to sign you up. I just saw her behind you.
With a joke.
Yeah. He's going.
Yeah. Eric, thank you very much for coming out here and sharing with all this great information. A lot of great things are going to come to BioXcellerator, because I see the real estate market emerging more and more with the medical market. I see a lot of great projects that there's some things I'd like to speak to you with offline when we get opportunity.
I love it. Yeah, guys, again, thank you very much. Good seeing you guys again, too.
Nice seeing you, Eric. Thank you very much.
It was good hanging with you in Medellin, but I appreciate the opportunity coming on here, too. I hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, guys. All right. Later,
take care.
Guys. Bye.
Thank you for watching another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity. You better like, subscribe, and share, or I'm going to come to your house.